It is no secret that the most disappointing team in college football this year has by far been the Clemson Tigers. They are 2-2 at this point in the year, and unless some sort of crazy 2007-like miracle season happens, there is no possible way that the Tigers are getting to the college football playoff. No team has ever been selected to the playoff with 2 losses, and I don't think that changes this year. Not only is it unlikely that they get in with 2 losses, but with the way the team is playing right now, they may have more than 2 losses come December. The defense looked great against Georgia, but the offense did absolutely nothing. They beat up on a bad team in week 2, and then had to have a goal line stand to beat Georgia Tech at home. It wasn't looking good, and then they had a trap game against NC State. The Wolfpack have been a pleasant surprise in 2021, and in a game that was a thriller and should have ended in regulation, the game was ended by an incompletion from DJ Uyunglele to Justin Ross, and Justin Ross didn't even put his hands out to try to catch the ball, and that epitomizes the Clemson season. So in today's video, I want to talk about the season so far, what I personally think is going wrong, and how they can save it. But before we get into today's video, nearly 80% of you guys are not subscribed for the upcoming college football season, and we definitely need your help, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button to help with the algorithm, and turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now let's get started and talk about why Clemson football sucks right now. Let's go back to 2015. The Clemson Tigers finished with a 14-1 record. In 2016, they went 14-1 again. In 2017, they went 12-2. In 2018, they went 15-0. In 2019, they went 14-1. And in 2020, they went 10-2. They have made the playoff the last 6 years, and no one thought that would change going into 2021. The foundation of Clemson football was built back before the 2015 season, and Dabo Sweeney was just starting to figure it out. Throughout his time, he's had some great coaches such as Billy Napier, Chad Morris, Brett Venables, Tony Elliott, and Jeff Scott. All these guys have contributed to Clemson football's success, and one thing that has been common is a dominant running back and an elite quarterback. Back when Taj Boyd was there, you had a guy by the name of Wayne Gallman, and while he hasn't done amazing things in the NFL, he was a great player for Clemson. From there, you went into the Travis Etienne era, and he became the best running back in ACC history. At the quarterback spot, they obviously had Taj Boyd back in the day, and they had a smooth transition over to Deshaun Watson. He helped lead them into the elite territory of the college football world and ended up getting a ring. From there, they had their transition year to their new quarterback, as their 5-star Hunter Johnson did not live up to the hype, and 4-star quarterback Kelly Bryant instead had to do the work, and he still led them to the college football playoff, but they got killed. Things were back to normal in 2018 though, as they brought in one of the best quarterback recruits of all time by the name of Trevor Lawrence, and in his freshman year, they killed Alabama 44-16 and went 15-0, and this was the best season in school history. In 2019, Lawrence had the Tigers right back to the national championship, but they could not get it done against the electric Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers. In 2020, they once again got back to the playoff led by Lawrence, and you guys notice a trend at this point. A great running back, a great group of coaches, and a great quarterback. Well, going into 2021, some changes would have to be made. They'd have to find a new quarterback. Well, with Lawrence being gone, a former 5-star and top 5 player by the name of DJ Uyunglele was expected to step up. He got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of NIL deals, was pegged as a Heisman candidate, was a preseason All-American, and was expected to be the number 1 overall pick in 2023. Well, he hasn't lived up to that, but first we need to touch on the other subject. Who is the running back? Well, they lost Etienne to the first round, and they had a mess of players trying to take over that spot. You had incoming 5-star freshman Will Shipley, you had the experienced veteran in Lynn J. Dixon, and then you had a hot redshirt freshman by the name of Kobe Pace. What I find ironic is potentially the best running back on the roster, Ches Malusi, decided to enter the transfer portal and has since been starting for Wisconsin and has had a pretty good year for the Badgers. So yeah, they had to find a new quarterback and a new running back, but with the talent that Clemson had, everyone just expected it would be smooth sailing and everything would be back to usual. Well, let's think again, as this year has been a disaster. Well, as we look into this year, the Tigers were picked to win the ACC, go to the college football playoff, and win 12 to 13 games as usual. You had Uyunglele at quarterback, Will Shipley was likely going to be the running back, and you had Justin Ross returning at the wide receiver spot. Because of that, they opened up as number 3 in the country for their huge matchup at number 5 Georgia in Charlotte. This game was one of the weirdest games we've seen, as in a modern style of college football where it's always pass heavy, score heavy, and there's a lot of points put on the board, this game was the opposite, as these two elite defenses really came out and played their best. Georgia won because they got a pick 6, and there were major questions about both DJ, the offensive line, and the coaching after their 10-3 loss to Georgia. Well, it was just one bad game, right? Don't hit the panic button, Scott. Don't do it. Against South Carolina State, they won 49-3, but this game should not even be considered. Their next test would come at home against Georgia Tech. This really shouldn't have been a test, but Georgia Tech made this game close, and according to a lot of the research I've done, it looks like the Yellow Jackets just played better and played with more heart, as they had a chance to tie this game with just a few seconds remaining. Luckily for Clemson, they got bailed out as super senior James Skalski stopped that Georgia Tech running back, and Clemson survived with a 14-8 win. This raised serious questions about Clemson, as not only did they not improve at all from their Week 1 disaster, this time it was against worse competition, and they really could have lost. They were still only a one-loss team, and everyone assumed that they would figure it out. Well, they had a big game against NC State. Head coach Dabo Sweeney and NC State head coach David Doran actually had a little bit of beef going into this game, and with it being on the road, I really thought personally that NC State was going to put up a fight. That is exactly what would happen, as this game remained close until the fourth quarter, and after a late stop, NC State had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal. Unfortunately, the kicker hit it wide left, and that was one of 3 misses that he had in the game. The whole college football world sighed when that kick went left, and we all thought Clemson was going to escape in overtime. They quickly marched in for a touchdown, but NC State would score twice, and then in the ensuing possession, DJ Uiagalelei could not connect with Justin Ross for what would have been a game-tying touchdown. Because of this, NC State won 27-21, got one of the biggest wins in a long time, and the fans stormed the field. The most important thing is, sorry Clemson fans, but Clemson's now eliminated from the 2022 college football playoff, and a lot of us people who are not Tigers fans are very happy about this. Finally, we can see someone new, and so far this 2021 season has been crazy and has lived up to all the hype. But now let's try to do a little bit of a deeper dive into what is going wrong with Clemson and how I think they'll finish the year. So in my eyes, I have 5 reasons why Clemson football has taken a step back this year and why they look so bad. First and foremost, it starts with DJ Uiagalelei. Everyone expected him to be elite from the very beginning, and he just has not been that way so far. He has struggled throwing the ball downfield. He has struggled making plays. While he has the arm strength and the physical body to be a really good player, he has not been able to connect on those big plays. He's looked very worried at times, and I believe there's something off mentally. Maybe the expectations are too high on him, maybe he has lost confidence, or maybe it's a mix of everything. In my eyes, I think they need to go to the backup Hunter Helms and at least see what he can do. Right now, DJ has a free pass to do whatever he wants and perform however, and he still gets to play in the game, and I think Coach Sweeney needs to look to the backup option to at minimum give DJ a wake-up call. The second reason is the offensive line. While the team is loaded with 4- and 5-star talent there, for some reason they have not been able to put it together there. The running game has been abysmal, DJ's been chased around a lot, and it seems like the unit is lacking. Because of that, opposing defenses have been able to get pressure, they have not been able to do their typical running style, and everything is rushed. That needs to improve. 3, coaching. There have been some questionable decisions that have been made and some questionable play calling, and while I'm not a Clemson fan and I haven't watched every play, I have heard a lot of rumblings that Coach Sweeney and Coach Elliott need to improve on that, and that is definitely a reason. The next one is a small factor, but they have dealt with some injuries to some key players. First, you saw their defensive tackle Tyler Davis get hurt, and he would have to miss a few weeks, including their matchup against NC State. Former 5-star recruit Brian Breesy ended up getting hurt, and he is now done for the season. And the third guy is Will Shipley, as he got hurt in the second half and will have to miss a couple weeks. The main reason, though, is a loss of talent. Trying to replace a guy like Trevor Lawrence is not easy. He was a superstar, the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and a generational type player. There's going to be some growing pains for whoever the next guy is, and you can't expect to always get the next Deshaun Watson or Trevor. Second, you lost Travis Etienne, who's the leading rusher in ACC football history. This is not a running back that you get every day, and while they were spoiled with him, and they have some good options on the team, I think it's going to take some time. Also, at the wide receiver spot, you lost both Cornell Powell and Amari Rodgers. While they weren't no Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, or T. Higgins, those 2 guys ended up becoming NFL draft picks and are active on NFL rosters right now, so losing that talent and experience is big, and outside of Justin Ross, no one else has really stepped up. So the truth is, Clemson's just in a down year, and the rebuilding pieces have not happened as quickly as we all thought they would. I think Clemson football will be fine, and I think they'll go 9-3 in the regular season. I think they'll slip up one more time at this rate, but I think they'll be playing their best football by the end of the year, and no one should really be panicking that much, as I think next year they will be back on track and back to the college football playoff. What do you guys think, though? How will Clemson do this year? What have been the main reasons why they've sucked? And what team should I take a look at next? Be Be sure to let me know down in the comment section, hit that like button if you want to support today's video, subscribe if you are new here, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.